Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. I would like to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this collab with Jan from New York City Saves Money and JB Breaks Free. And the topic that we're to talk about is how to cut your grocery bill in half. So I do have three tips here that I would like to go ahead and share with you that would, I feel, help cut down. The first one, I would cook enough in a slow cooker to last a few days to cut down on food cost. So I guess pretty much if you went to the grocery store and you wanted to do a pot roast or a pork roast or any type of roast that you wanted to do, I hear some of the like a whole roaster chicken is nice, or Butterball has these little turkey roasts that you can do that are pretty good. You could do that, um, and you could have enough food to possibly eat off of that particular, um, portion for about 3 or 4 days. Because you could always add your carrots and your, um, potatoes and onions and celery, the way you would normally go about doing up a regular pot roast. So that would be one of my first tips that I would suggest, to help prolong having to cook and spend more money to, to have food. The second one is to go shopping once. That's 3 times a month. Would help save on fuel costs. So if you go to the store and shop once every 10 days, you know, certainly buy enough within that 10-day period, that way you don't have to go out every 3 or 4 days to go to the store in order to purchase, grocery items in order to prepare food. I tend to follow that rule. I like to go about every 10 days. And what I do is I get, the amount that I'm going to spend per month on my groceries. And what I'll do is within a 10-day period, I'm only going to spend this amount of money. And then the next 10 days, this amount. The next 10 days, this amount. And it works out great for me. So that right there within itself helps me cut down on my grocery bill when I go and extend out my grocery shops to 3 times a month. Most people usually like to go shopping about 4 times a month, so I'm actually taking away one trip going to the grocery store. The next one would be to use what you have in your refrigerator, say any leftovers that you have, from other meals that you have done, say the night before or the night prior. What you could do is you could gather up all of these little meals that you have left over, and you might be able to create another meal or maybe even two meals out of what you have in your refrigerator. Um, I am big on repurposing, like if you've got some leftover meatloaf, let's say you have some leftover mashed potatoes, let's say you have some leftover vegetables. In a roundabout way, you could take those three items. This is just to give you an idea. For those of you that like to make something like a shepherd's pie, that would be a good way to go about, creating another meal. Um, if you didn't want to go that route, you could take the leftover meatloaf, break that down, and possibly make, say, a chili out of it. It would turn out pretty good because you've got all your flavorings there in the meat. Or do one of the ones that I'm pretty good at making. You could maybe turn it into a nice spaghetti sauce. So that gives you a couple of options. The mashed potatoes, you could probably take the mashed potatoes and maybe make, you could even make some type of a potato soup out of it somehow. maybe that's one way. And then you could throw the vegetables in, and you could do like a potato vegetable soup type ordeal setup. So you've got a few things you can do, definitely here to cut down on your food cost. Um, but definitely, I'm big on number three. Definitely go into your kitchen, go to your refrigerator, look and see what leftover items you have just sitting there, and just work around what you have there. The food is already cooked. Basically, all you're doing is combining, and you're creating one, maybe two meals, maybe three. It all really depends on what you have in your refrigerator. So that's another big way that I like to go about cutting a grocery bill in half. I know that's always worked for me. So, definitely consider these three options. Big on number three. Number two, certainly go 3 times a month rather than four. That helps save. And definitely work with the slow cooker. That always, every time I've used it, has always created wonderful, delicious tasting meals. Even if I go and repurpose using the number three and I want to create something else in a slow cooker, the sky's the limit when it comes to breaking down your money and saving money. Anyway, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank Jan from New York City Saves Money, to allow me to be a part of their collab, and JB from JB Breaks Free. I want to thank him for being a part of the collab as well. And I will go ahead and include their links down below in my description box to where you can go over and view their videos. I hope all of you have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you may be. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.